What you are about to hear from the Madlanga Commission is devastating. Cat Matlala is under oath, and the picture he paints is one of political power being bought, sold, and manipulated behind closed doors. He tells the Commission a man named Brown Mogotsi called him after a police raid, claiming to speak for the minister's office. Money changed hands R20000, then another R150k, and according to Matlala, former Minister Bheki Cele told him to keep paying so they could expose a plan to push Major-General Feroz Khan into the top job at crime intelligence. A man who stayed in Matlala's own house was allegedly approached to change his testimony for Khan, demanding a promotion and cash. Recordings, demands, pressure. While ordinary South Africans struggle, while communities cry out for real justice, powerful people appear to be playing a different game. Meetings in hotels, cash changing hands, names protected by privilege, claims of no favors, while the money trail and political connections keep growing. This is not just another court update. This is the moment the mask starts to slip on how power really works in this country. It is heartbreaking, because every time the truth fights to come out, it looks more and more like the system protects the connected while the people are left behind. Watch every second of this testimony. Judge for yourself. If this makes your blood boil, if this breaks your heart, smash that like button right now. Drop your honest thoughts in the comments. Do you believe what Matlala is saying? Share this video so more South Africans see it. And subscribe with the notification bell on, because we will keep bringing you every explosive development from the Madlanga Commission. The truth must come out. No one should be above accountability.
15.2, you deal with your relationship, if any, with General Pashani. At 15.6, misnumbered as 14. At 15.6 is your relationship with General Mchunu, Lieutenant General Mchunu. At 15.3, Lieutenant General Mulefefani, and at 15.4 with Major-General Feroz Khan. And that concludes your testimony in regard to the relationships, the relationships you have with the various persons listed at Annexure A. You confirm that?
Yes, I confirm.
Now, looking at your paragraph 14, you have listed 13 persons there that you say are your co-accused in the Medicare 24 contract.
Yes.
And you request, in extending your privilege, that you not be required to comment or testify about any relationship you may have with any one of them.
Of course.
So, if we go to page 7, though, I realize that if one has regard to the 13 that you request that you not be questioned about because you're co-accused in the Medicare 24 contract, we look at those you deal with at paragraph 15, it still does not conclude the list at page 7. Would you please go to page 7 of that file?
I'm on it.
I'll give you an example. Your item 5 requested you to speak to any relationship you may have with Lieutenant General Shadrach Sibia. Item 8 requested the same of Lieutenant General Sinchumule. 9 with former General Tema. 10 Major General Leseja Sinona, and so it goes. So there are persons in Annexure A that you have not included in your statement. Why is that?
Yeah, these are the present people that will be added in the supplementary affidavit.
Why did they not form part of the statement? Because you do not explain, at least as far as I can see, in your statement that you will, if I may just complete this, that you will be addressing the remainder of the persons identified in Annexure A at a later stage in a supplementary affidavit.
Yes, I was just only referring to my co-accused. So these people here are not my co-accused.
No, sorry, perhaps I I mean, I wasn't very clear. I'm saying, if we look at the people at 14, you say these are your co-accused.
Yes.
But then you go further, at 15, you deal with others who are not your co-accused.
On paragraph 15.
From paragraph 15, 15.1 to 15.4. As I read them out, it's Minister Senzo Mchunu, that's not your co-accused.
Yes.
Former General Pashani, Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, Lieutenant General Fani, and Major-General Feroz Khan. So, besides the fact that you don't deal with the ones you say are your co-accused, which is a different issue, you appear to have made a selection from Annexure A as to which relationship to talk about. And I point out that, for instance, you completely ignored the request that you talk to your relationship with Lieutenant General Shadrach Sibia, who's listed under 5, to Lieutenant General Kosi Sentumule, listed under 6, and Major General Sinona, under 10, former General Sandra Tema, under 9, Major General Shibiri, under 12. So my question was, besides the fact that I hear you will not deal with your relationship with your co-accused, you have gone further to make a selection to deal with only 5 of the remaining persons whose names appear on Annexure 5, and have chosen to ignore completely the other persons, with no explanation in your statement as to why that is the case. And I'm inviting you to explain to the commissioners why that is the case.
I will say is because these people, in my supplementary affidavit, it will explain further why I didn't include them now here. So because there are some reasons, I did that deliberately because I have reasons why I did not include them. But only those reasons will be found in my supplementary affidavit.
Are you in a position to share the reasons now and the detail then of the relationship you have with the respective persons to be included in your supplementary? The reasons I'm requesting is why they don't form part of this particular statement. And then you don't have to elaborate on the relationship you have with each one of them.
It will have to do with the recordings which I'm disputing. So I did not want to add them now because I have to now dive deep and explain why I'm saying I'm disputing the recordings, which we still have the transcripts that we still need to transcribe again because of some of them are unofficial transcripts.
So then if I understand you correctly, and I don't want to misunderstand you, anyone appearing at page 7 that you have not dealt with, it's your submission that they are to some extent impacted by or involved in the recordings that you intend to dispute.
Yes.
Is that the basis? I hear you. And that will become apparent when you submit your supplementary statement. 15.2, you deal with your relationship, if any, with General Pashani. At 15.6, misnumbered as 14. At 15.6 is your relationship with General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. At 15.3, Lieutenant General Molefe Fani. And at 15.4, with Major General Feroz Khan. And that concludes your testimony in regard to the relationships, the relationships you have with the various persons listed at Annexure A. You confirm that?
Yes, I confirm.
Now, looking at your paragraph 14, you have listed 13 persons there that you say are your co-accused in the Medicare 24 contract.
Yes.
And you request, in extending your privilege, that you not be required to comment or testify about any relationship you may have with any one of them.
Of course.
So, if we go to page 7, though, I realize that if one has regard to the 13 that you request that you not be questioned about because you're co-accused in the Medicare 24 contract, we'll look at those you deal with at paragraph 15. It still does not conclude the list at page 7. Would you please go to page 7 of that file?
I'm on it.
I'll give you an example. Your item 5 requested you to speak to any relationship you may have with Lieutenant General Shadrach Sibia. Item 8 requested the same of Lieutenant General Senzo Mchunu, 9 with former General Tema, 10 Major General Leseja Sinona, and so it goes. So there are persons in Annexure A that you have not included in your statement. Why is that?
Yeah, these are the people that will be added in the supplementary affidavit.
Why did they not form part of the statement? Because you do not explain, at least as far as I can see, in your statement that you will, if I may just complete this, that you will be addressing the remainder of the persons identified in Annexure A at a later stage in a supplementary affidavit.
Yes, I was just only referring to my co-accused. So these people here are not my co-accused.
No, sorry, perhaps I wasn't very clear. I'm saying if we look at the people at 14, you say these are your co-accused.
Yes.
But then you go further at 15, you deal with others who are not your co-accused.
On paragraph 15.
From paragraph 15, 15.1 to 15.4. As I read them out, it's Minister Senzo Mchunu, that's not your co-accused.
Yes.
Former General Pashani, Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, Lieutenant General Fani, and Major General Feroz Khan. So besides the fact that you don't deal with the ones you say are your co-accused, which is a different issue, you appear to have made a selection from Annexure A as to which relationship to talk about. And I point out that, for instance, you completely ignored the request that you talk to your relationship with Lieutenant General Shadrach Sibia, who's listed under 5, to Lieutenant General Kosi Sentumule, listed under 6, and Major General Sinona, under 10, former General Sandra Tema, under 9, Major General Shibiri, under 12. So my question was, besides the fact that I hear you will not deal with your relationship with your co-accused, you have gone further to make a selection to deal with only 5 of the remaining persons whose names appear on Annexure 5, and have chosen to ignore completely the other persons with no explanation in your statement as to why that is the case. And I'm inviting you to explain to the commissioners why that is the case.
I will say is because these people, in my supplementary affidavit, it will explain further why I didn't include them now here. So because there are some reasons, I did that deliberately because I have reasons why I did not include them. But only those reasons will be found in my supplementary affidavit.
Are you in a position to share the reasons now and the detail then of the relationship you have with the respective persons to be included in your supplementary? The reasons I'm requesting is why they don't form part of this particular statement. And then you don't have to elaborate on the relationship you have with each one of them.
It will have to do with the recordings which I'm disputing. So I did not want to add them now because I have to now dive deep and explain why I'm saying I'm disputing the recordings, which we still have the transcripts that we still need to transcribe again because of some of them are unofficial transcripts.
So then if I understand you correctly, and I don't want to misunderstand you, anyone appearing at page 7 that you have not dealt with, it's your submission that they are to some extent impacted by or involved in the recordings that you intend to dispute.
Yes.
Is that the basis? I hear you. And that will become apparent when you submit your supplementary statement. The periods when he had possession of the card and what, when, and for what this card was used for. You deal with that at paragraph 16. You confirm that?
Yes, I do.
Then paragraph 2.3.4 of the notice required you to address the loan or funding agreement entered with Mr. Salim Karim or any of his companies in or about June 2024 or any other date, including a copy of such agreement and the terms thereof. That you deal with at paragraph 17, where you deal with paragraph 2.3.4 of the notice. You confirm?
Yes, I confirm.
Now, I note from your statement that you specifically don't deal with paragraphs 2.3.1, 2.3.2, 2.3.5, and 2.3.6. Now, before we then deal with the matters that you respond to, let's try and address the matters that you choose not to respond to. 2.3.1 required you to speak of your involvement in Major-General Khan's disciplinary hearing, including communications with Mr. Mogotsi regarding Mr. Maluleke's testimony and attempts to bribe him in order for him to change his testimony in favor of Major-General Khan. You don't deal with the issues raised in that particular sub-paragraph. Is there a reason for that?
Honestly, it's an oversight. I don't have a reason not to deal with this one. I can deal with it now. I'm sorry about this.
If you can deal with it now, we would appreciate if you spoke to it, because this is your moment to respond to the regulation 10.6 as received. So let's start with paragraph 2.3.1. You have looked at it, you have considered it. What can you say as regards what's set out therein, and anything that you may overlook in the process, you will then elaborate on in your supplementary. But for the moment, you can introduce us to any response you have to that question.
So it's in regards with Mr. Maluleke's, am I right? 2.3.1.
2.3.1, yes.
Yeah. Yes, Mr. Maluleke's, I know him, he was staying at my house. The reason for him to stay at my house, I think he was robbed or something, and he didn't have a place to stay, and then I offered him a place to stay. So he was staying at my house, and as soon as he heard that the police went to my house and to do that first raid, and I've been complaining about the conduct of the police to extent that I even attempted to make an agent high court application to interdict the police from harassment. So I've been sharing these things with him anyway. So there came a point where I don't know who contacted Mr. Maluleke, but he told me that, listen, I've been asked to go and testify against, give testimony in relation to General Khan. So, and then he said, because these people who requested me to go there and testify, that are the people who went to your house and raid your house. So, is there anything that you want me to do in regards with this thing? So, and then I told him that, listen, whatever it is, I've already sorted out my issues with these people. So I don't have anything to do with them anyway. So, but he said to me, he already spoken to some guy, Mr. Mogotsi. And Mr. Mogotsi asked him to go there and then to testify, but I do not know what he was supposed to say in his testimony. So he wanted my confirmation that, do you really want me to go there and then testify in favor of General Khan? I said, I do not know General Khan anyway, and then even if you do, it won't help me with anything, because I already sorted out my problems with the police that were raiding my house. So from what I heard is, I heard it from Mr. Mogotsi, that he said to Mr. Mogotsi that I'm going to testify in favor of General Khan, but I want you to speak to your people to give me a promotion and some money. So Mogotsi showed me the communication between himself and Mr. Maluleke. So there was a meeting that they were supposed to have a meeting somewhere. I think it was in a hotel somewhere in Johannesburg. I forgot the name of the hotel. So I asked Mogotsi that, okay, did your person did what you said he will do. He said, yes, he did, but he told me that they've even recorded him, I think, because he was asking for promotion and money. So I will say, from the top of my head, that's how I remember about this Mr. Maluleka story.
By whether he had done what he had said he would do, were you referring to him testifying at the disciplinary proceedings?
Yes.
So he had said he had testified.
No, not the disciplinary proceedings, I'm sorry. He was going, before he went to testify, he had an appointment with Mr. Mogotsi. And then Mr. Mogotsi arranged, I don't know with who. They met with those people, and then that's when maybe they were planning to try to come up with how is he going to testify, I think. So during that meeting, that's when he was recorded. Mr. Mogotsi told me that they've recorded him, and then he's asking for money and promotion. I said, then if he's stuck there, then why don't you ask the person that is helping you to give you money? So why are you, that cannot be my problem. So I left it like that, and then...
So when you asked whether Mr. Maluleka had done what he had said he would do, were you asking about whether he had made an approach for him to be promoted?
No.
When you asked, has he done what he said he would do, what were you asking about?
I was asking that he said he will testify in favor of General Khan. So I was asking Mr. Mogotsi that did he do that?
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. You say he called you and he offered to help you open a case. Did he say how he came to know you had been raided?
Did he say
What did he say was the purpose of his call?
to help me to open a case?
Following the raid on your house?
Yes.
Did he say how he got to know that fact, that your house was raided?
Hence, I think earlier I just mentioned that I know how now, but then I did not know.
Okay, how now?
So I'm saying the names of the people who I don't want to mention those names.
Okay.
Of how did he end up knowing me? Because it's part of the people who are under investigation and myself, so I do not want to go there.
So, are these members of SAPS or are these civilians? No, there are 62 million people at least in this country. You are safe if you say civilians. No one can take an educated guess.
One is a civilian, yes, and one is a member of SAPS.
Okay. Now, are these names you are willing to disclose confidentially to the Commission in your supplementary statement?
Yeah, they will be disclosed in my supplementary.
Okay. Now, most importantly, you are a businessman at that time. You've just been raided by people you say you were not sure were even police because you were worried. You were not sure whether police were raided your home or whether you had been robbed. You had that concern with you. No. Why did you accept an offer of help from somebody you don't know the first thing about? Why didn't you suspect that there's something fishy? Why should somebody come out of the blue to help me go open a case on a raid I have just experienced? I ask this to say, perhaps, I don't know, he must have said something to you that made you confident to conclude that you are dealing with a legitimate person. And if he did, what that something could potentially be? What could he have said to you?
What he said to me is, he's from the office of the minister.
Yes.
And then by that time, out of frustration, I didn't even think that far, that how did he end up?
Okay.
By now, like I said, I know.
Okay. Did he ever offer you, did he ever help you with the opening?
No.
Okay. Now, I am aware that you say you've only got to know of him after around the time of the raid of your house. We know that is the 6th of December. Did you subsequently develop a relationship with him, whether as a friend or
After he asked money, I knew this guy is not what he says he is, so I didn't have any relationship with him.
You didn't have any relationship with him?
No.
You say for January 8, you paid 150,000.
Yes.
Why would you do that? What would you be getting in return for that?
It was because of the advice from the former Minister Bheki Cele.
What would have been the purpose of paying 150,000? What did Mr. Cele say to you would be the purpose of paying 150,000?
To make him not doubt that I no longer trust him. Maybe he will end up leading us to.
Okay.
Sorry?
In order, I was following you.
Yes,
Please go ahead.
I'm saying it's because not to give him any suspicion that I no longer trust him.
Okay. So did you give any more?
No.
Give him any more?
No.
Chairperson, I'd just like the witness to finish the answer where he said it was to lead him to, you can just complete that portion.
No, absolutely. I apologize if I interrupted you. So let's take a step back, and it sounds like that there's an answer I might have interrupted and it's incomplete.
Yes, because he said he was from the Minister of the Police.
Yes.
And then the former Minister of Police, the other Mr. Bheki Cele, he said that giving him money, because he strongly believed that this guy, he is working with the Minister of the current Minister then he thought by giving him money, I will end up getting close to them, to him and the former Minister. The other former Minister, let me just mention that because there's two ministers. I'm talking about Mr. Mchunu. Yes, Brown said, Mr. Cele said that maybe he will lead us to Mr. Mchunu.
Okay. Can I just ask so the raid is on the 6th of December, if I recall,
Yes.
in 2024. This was for the January 2025 ANC celebration.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Which is the 8th of January.
Yes.
So within that month, you gave him this 150,000.
Yes.
Okay. 2, when...
Sorry, and I also paid for the flight tickets. I didn't mention that.
Okay, so you paid more than 150,000 in that month. And then 2, when you say that former Minister Cele said to you, give him the money, now that he's asking, give him the money, then maybe it will lead us to the minister. To what? What exactly were you discussing that he will lead you to discover? Exactly.
This is according to Mr. Cele. He said to me, Mr. Senzo wants to fire General Khumalo and hire General and replace him with General Khan to that position of crime intelligence. So, and then, yes, he said, yeah, that's what I can remember on top of my head.
But he was hoping it would lead you to that plan.
Commissioner, I will do this, so I will just, because I'll make a supplementary affidavit, so I will just have to put it in details, even this statement, so that I
No,
can...
that's fine. I'm happy that you deal with it further in your supplementary. Thank you.
Did you ever get to meet Mr. Brown Mogotsi? Because in your statement you mentioned the phone calls. Did you ever get to meet him and under what circumstances?
Yes, I met him.
When? And under what circumstances?
After the first call that he made, after the call, I met him in Sheraton Hotel next to the Union Buildings.
Yes.
Discussing that he will investigate these things from the minister's office. He even made a call in front of me, pretending to call the minister, or whether it was the minister, that I cannot confirm. So yes, I will say I met him.
Was it once?
I also met him in the other hotel in Johannesburg. I met him twice, the hotel in Johannesburg, the Houghton Hotel.
Did he assist you to open a case against the police?
He actually tried because he connected me with some, I just forgot the name, in somewhere in Soweto, in Pretoria. Protea North. But that case was never registered.
Was he there when you went to?
He was not there. He was not there.
He just connected you with somebody who was there?
Yes.
Okay.
And at paragraph 24, you are responding to the question posed at 2.5.7, and here you were requested to speak to your relationship, if any, to Mr. Brown Mogotsi. You deal with that at page 24, starting at paragraph 16.
I can confirm that I came to know of Mr. Brown Mogotsi when he called me at the time that the SAPS had raided my house. Prior to this incident, I had no dealings with Brown Mogotsi. Brown Mogotsi impersonated to me that he was from the office of the Minister of Police, and it will appear that he was using his strategy to entice me into giving him financial assistance.
Now, then you say prior to this incident, you had no dealings with Mr. Brown Mogotsi. I'm reading your second sentence. Did you know him prior to him making this call to you?
No.
So with that statement that you had no prior dealings with him, it includes the fact that you didn't know him?
Yes, I've never, yes.
You had never met him before?
No.
You had never had any communication with him?
No.
Now, the raid at your house, if I understand it correctly, was the 6th of December 2024.
Yes.
So that is the operative date. And you indicate here that he called you at the time that SAPS raided your house.
Not the day, I think I'll say, the raid was on Friday, I remember.
Yes.
He called me, I think, on Sunday, 2 days after, yes.
So when you say at the time, you mean within a period around the date of the raid itself. And this, you are receiving a call code from somebody you don't know, you've never heard of before?
Yes.
And is there anything specific about this call that you think might be of relevance to the commission? Why are you putting it as a marker for a time frame?
Yes, he called and then he said to me, he's calling from the office of the minister.
Okay.
And then he's here to help me to open the case against the police.
Okay.
So I will say this, let me just go back and say why was he saying this? Because the following day, on Saturday after the raid, I was not sure whether those people are the police or not because they were wearing balaclavas. And then they took my cell phones and my company firearms and my personal firearm. So I thought I was robbed. So I went to the police station the following day. And then I wanted to open a case. So when I was busy giving the police the statement, and I think by the time they were supposed to register the case or something, they just realized that no, these were actually real police, because those firearms, if they were taken by thieves, they were not going to book them in the what is it called, the SAP 13 in the police station. So by then now I knew that those were police because of they booked in my firearms, but still they did not register my case.
Okay.
So it was on Saturday when I went to open a case the following morning. So on Sunday, Commissioner, you know, some of the things that I wouldn't want to comment on them because it's things that I say I would feel like I will incriminate myself. But let me not. I want to proceed with this testimony, but let me please not mention some of the things. Maybe in my supplementary affidavit, I don't know how we will deal with it. But let me just proceed, and then you will tell me where you need clarity, and then we can take it from there. So
yes, go ahead.
Yes. On Sunday, when he called me, he said he wants to help me in regards with opening a case against the police. And then I was interested because I wanted to open a case of harassment. And then that's when I got to know of him. And then especially when he said he's from the Minister of the Police. And then because I know that there by the police station, they refused to open a case against the police, then he was willing to assist. So what I think when they came for the second time for the raid, he asked money from me. He said he wants to bring experts from the police to do the investigation to find out who are these people who came to my house. But by then he wanted money. And then, yes, I gave him that money. I think it was 20,000, I think. He said we must book accommodation for those investigators. So that's when he started to raise a red flag for me, that why would the police need money if to do an investigation? But anyway, I gave him the money. And then when the police now came to my office, raided my office and went back to my house looking for me because of they were supposed to charge me because I was not supposed to have a spare key of my office where I keep my firearms, which I did not know that is unlawful. So they said they wanted to arrest me for that thing. So they came to my house to arrest me for that. So, but I was not at home. So on my way to my house, I found out that the police are there already. My wife called me when I was on my way home, said the police are here. They're looking for you. But what worried me is the police were wearing balaclavas again, and then but I'm supposed to be charged for a case of having a spare key of your own safe. So I had my own suspicions that something must be wrong here. They will just send a normal investigators, maybe with police in uniform, but not people with rifles and balaclavas for a spare key. So that's when now I got engaged with Brown a lot, Mogotsi a lot. And then he said to me, yes, he will help, and then to get to the bottom of this and find out who are these people actually. But at some point, I got a call from a person who was very close to the former minister. And he said, the former minister of police. And he said to me, listen, because that thing now was in the media. I've already opened, by then I've already, what is it called? That agent interdict, the High Court interdict, agent application. I've already done that to stop harassment, and it's already even in the media. So this guy called me and said, listen, I see you're having problems here. Come to KZN, then I have someone who will help you with this problem. Then that's when I got to know the former Minister of Police, Mr. Bheki Cele. So when I got to Mr. Bheki Cele, I'm still on Brown Mogotsi anyway, not, but I want to give you the context of when I was with Mr. Bheki Cele, I showed him that, listen, this guy, I showed him my communication with him. He claims that he's from the Minister of Police, but he wants money from me, and then he also says that I was help them with the, what is it called? Is this function that ANC holds every year in January? I don't know what is it called. So, but he wanted money for that also. So, and then that's when the former Minister of Police said to me, you know what? Continue giving this guy money. Maybe if you do that, then he will lead us to, because he's saying that he's close with the Minister of Police. And then what are they doing? Asking for money is something that is unlawful. Maybe if we can get to the bottom of this. So That's when I kept on sending Brown Mogotsi money. So I paid also 150,000 to his account for that January 8th celebration of the ANC.
Now, I just want to retrace our steps